American Academy of Pediatrics under fire. Why? Well, because they want to keep mutilating children and pumping them full of dangerous vaccines. Aaron, you got the story. Give it to us.
TheFederalist.com is reporting the American Academy of Pediatrics, keeps proving itself to be an anti-science cult. If you thought the left-wing American Academy of Pediatrics couldn't do any more to discredit itself as a legitimate medical organization, think again, ladies and gentlemen. On Tuesday, the nation's largest pediatrics association revealed that it is bucking guidance from the Health and Human Services Secretary, none other than Bobby Kennedy Jr., and the CDC by recommending COVID shots for infants and young children. The advisement was included in the AAP's newly released immunization schedule for all children under the age of 18. When I read that, I thought to myself, they think that the general public either doesn't pay attention or has very short-term memory. A couple things that I want to remind our listeners is, if you guys saw the wild exchange, and if you haven't seen it, please go back to YouTube and watch it, between Dr. Fauci and Dr. Rand Paul. This was the April and May 2021 Senate commission, where they were cross-examining whether or not Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines had not been proven to stop transmission or infection in children, let alone adults. So here's a couple key points that I want to remind people, because it's important to bring this up in context of this article, because what I'm about to tell you makes the move by the American Pediatrics Association look tone deaf. Breakthrough cases were far more common in kids than the public had been told. CDC slides leaked to the press showed 3,500 reported post-vaccination infections in 12 to 17-year-olds. So they were getting COVID after the vaccine. I don't know if you guys remember, our illustrious Catholic president, the great Joseph R. Biden, once told us, "You're gonna get the COVID vaccine. You're not gonna get COVID." Remember that? You're just not gonna get it. Come on, man. Well, you got it anyways. The CDC slides showed that. Number two, myocarditis signals in young men. The VAERS and DOD data that Rand Paul's subcommittee obtained revealed a 20 times higher rate of myocarditis. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, myocarditis.
I thought that was a rapper.
No.
Myocarditis after mRNA shots in male teens than the companies had submitted to the FDA. This forced the CDC to call an emergency meeting in June, where slides showed that the mRNA 1273 dose response curve peaking sharply after the second dose. So it's giving our young men diseases, guys. Number three, absolute risk reduction in children, published for the first time. Pfizer's own submission showed that the number needed to vaccinate to prevent one non-severe COVID case was 1,124. So serious pediatric cases in the placebo arm showed that this was that there was an absolute risk reduction in children. So there wasn't no longer a threat of children getting the COVID. What is it? Was it a vaccine? That's virus. It was a virus. Dr. Fauci admitted under oath that no child death was prevented by the shot in the pivotal trials, because he didn't want to go to jail. So he admitted, no kids died, even though all the propaganda in 2020 was, your kids are going to die if you don't get the vaccine. Number five, the asymptomatic transmission narrative collapsed. Fauci finally conceded that the vaccinated children can and do transmit SARS-CoV. Number six, secret FDA request to widen liability shield was brought to light by an FOIA document request obtained shortly after Paul's hearings. So this shows that they were concerned that there was going to be more damage. So just a little reminder that the COVID vaccine is damaging. It causes diseases. No kids are dying from it. Yet the American Pediatrics Association says, if you got kids, you better get it. Mr. Lupo?
Yeah, the American Academy of Pediatrics has long been the equivalent of the teachers' unions for physicians in pediatric space. The upside is that there is a counter teachers union, just like there's a counter space for those that are involved with the pediatric industry. That would be the American College of Pediatricians, the ones that have been fighting to eliminate transgender surgeries on minors, the ones that have been trying to fight for um, uh, help for children that face gender dysphoria and all these other things that want to stay true to the medical profession, unlike those that are just consistently trying to, well, be woke. I think there's a term for that, but I can't think of it off the top of my virtue signal.
Virtue signaling. Yeah.
So, virtue signaling does not have a space in medicine.
No,
I
especially under the
strongly
knife.
agree with that. So amongst all of the medical industry who just sucks on the teat of the American Academy of Pediatrics,
Did you say the teat?
the teat,
Interesting.
and every other organization that is a compilation of medical research that may or may not just be funded by giant pharmaceutical manufacturers. Uh, it's time that we bolster those organizations that are thinking critically, that are not just funded by large amounts of money from the pharmaceutical industry, and they're actually using their brains, similar to those in the teachers unions that aren't the actual teachers union, that are fighting the teachers union and fighting to bring back good moral values, ethics, and well, bring back any sort of education into a classroom.
Well, we have a divided government. I mean, the AAP is clearly in opposition to Bobby Kennedy and the Health and Human Services Department when you consider the fact that on May 27th, the great Bobby stood alongside the National Institute of Health director and the FDA commissioner announcing that the COVID shot for healthy children and pregnant women had been removed from the CDC's recommended immunization schedule due to a lack of clinical data to justify continued recommendation. And in Tuesday's press release, the AAP took an indirect jab at Kennedy and his decision to fire and replace members of the CDC's Committee on Immunization Practices, noting the differences between it and the ACIP's recommendations. The pediatric groups claimed Kennedy's new hires, quote, have a history of spreading vaccine misinformation. You're a misinformationer, Mr. Kennedy, so stop it out. Just stop it.
Yeah, it's for as far as we've gotten in the very short amount of time that we have, in terms of proving the rumor mill true that this was a virus that was created by the CCP,
Yeah.
that was intended to create mass chaos and destruction, and especially take out some of the most vulnerable populations that were a drain on healthcare systems around the world. Um, that hasn't been released. The question of why did we all of a sudden have a vaccine as quickly as we did, even though vaccines typically take years to produce, it's clear and evident that they were planning for an event such as this. The Bill Gates Foundation has been funding research in mRNA technology for a long time. All these things are not hidden; they're right in plain sight. So it's interesting for sure.
Hidden in plain sight, indeed. What I find interesting is the only one spreading medical misinformation is the American Academy of Pediatrics, prima facie.
Well, and the former Surgeon General and the Surgeon Generals of past, uh, and the lead medical schools that have been spreading misinformation. I mean, when you receive all of your donations from companies that you're intended to serve or to uh, what's the right way, that intended to keep a balance, a checks and balance system on, uh, where do the checks and balances come from? Who's asking the questions? Because if you're a medical school or you're a physician that's receiving millions of dollars from these organizations, how are you going to look at them and be like, "Yeah, we're not going to tell people that your vaccine is safe"?
I mean, it's the same thing. We have at the highest levels billions of dollars, global international power, billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies, a communist adversary who wants to take us out, who's been stealing our technology. I mean, this was a bioweapon unleashed by a foreign enemy. And it's proven, if you spend more than 10 minutes, 5 years outside of 2020, that our government was complicit in misinformation and in exacerbating the problem. This was one of the biggest scams ever unleashed on the American people. It was the what did they call it? They were doing a play on words. It escapes me at the moment, but the other thing I wanted to say is that spending just 5 minutes of research into the efficacy of the COVID vaccine and the threat of the COVID 19 virus, you will learn that the vaccine doesn't prevent the COVID virus because you know people who received it. But furthermore, it's long been established that healthy children are the at least risk demographic when it comes to COVID mortality. So the fact that the AAP's uh, pushing this out there is they're just carrying water. I mean, it's so obvious, like so obvious. You just got to do like 10 minutes of research.
I, listen, the research has showed that hydroxychloroquine was helpful, that ivermectin was helpful, that high dose vitamin C was helpful.
Antihistamine.
All of the research that showed that all of these medications or vitamins or supplements that we've had on the market for decades were beneficial, including the research that shows that tobacco was beneficial in preventing COVID-19.
Says the guy smoking a cigar.
Says the guy smoking a cigar. I never got COVID-19. Wouldn't know if I did because I never tested. I'm just saying.
I always
So
wanted it.
you wanted it?
I did. I felt left out. Like I was like, dude, why are all the cool kids getting it?
All you had to do was swab your nose. You probably had it.
I was
Because
trying.
because we were carrying it. It was the people that were the problems were the ones that were carrying the virus that didn't know that they had the virus.
Right. They were the super spreaders.
Yeah, they were the super spreaders.
And the opposite was the narrative in the media that if you didn't have the vaccine, you were hurt, you were killing grandma.
Yeah, the whole thing's
It didn't make any sense, but because everybody was in a state of fear and in an emotional state, we got to see how people behave when they're responding in fear and they're emotional.
well, it was only a couple weeks ago we talked about vaccine shedding. That research is on our website, faithfamilyfit.org. You can find that research. You can also find the previous conversation that we had on that. We had warnings go up on every media site that we posted that video on because vaccine shedding is misinformation.
Yeah, and we would be remiss if we didn't note that in the summer of 2022, the AAP published an article calling to advance so-called reproductive justice in pediatric training. Apparently, pediatricians helping minors get abortions without their parents' knowledge is something that the AAP finds as a priority. So guys, come on, the AAP, they're not serious people. Sorry, there's nobody serious there, right, Jason? No, we don't respect the AAP anymore. The app.
I don't,
Okay.
but that's still the one of the leading organizations that's looked at. But you know, it's because you look at these medical journals, which used to be held to a really high standard, right? Peer reviewed articles. You had a good sense of what you were reading. You had a good sense that the study was done in an ethical way. And now we have peer reviewed articles in these journals that are completely 100% paid for by pharmaceutical companies, special interest groups, and you don't actually know what research to believe anymore. And I think that's the big challenge is you need the Academy of Pediatrics when it's checked, right? Just like you need the American College of Pediatrics, which is the conservative group that's fighting the American Academy of Pediatrics, because that's how we move forward. But the problem is that because the entire industry has done so much damage to organizations like the American College of Pediatrics and has drugged them through the mud and said that this group of conservative doctors that their research and their opinions were worthless. That's not the space that we need to exist in. The space that we need to exist in this world is to say, okay, everybody bring their thoughts to the table and let's have a logical conversation about this, right? Which is not happening anymore. It's not happening in any industry,
Right.
especially is not happening in the education industry and in the healthcare industry. What we have is we have dominant uh, superpowers in the industry that are dictating exactly what's happening. And that's why we have a vaccine schedule that is just absolutely atrocious. Right? And there's vaccines on here for things that won't kill you. And that won't really kill a 2-month-old or a 3-month-old. And then there's things where it's like why do we need to be giving the HPV vaccine to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old? Like that one's always kind of like mind boggled me too. It's like, how does that make sense? Here it says the HPV vaccine is starting somewhere around the 7 to 10-year-old range. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild.
For what purpose?
Well, the thing that blew my mind when Bobby Kennedy shed light on this was that there's now 70 plus shots by age 18 with sometimes covariant timing. It's 70? 70. Come on. No, I'm not giving my kid. I want to tell everybody something. My kids never got vaccinated. They never will get vaccinated. And guess what? They never get sick. They're super healthy. They eat spicy food. They eat mangoes. They eat oranges. They drink plenty of water. Their mother cooks for them. They eat healthy. They eat plant-based foods. They eat fruits and vegetables. They eat plenty of proteins. My wife does not cook with industrial oils. She cooks with avocado and olive oil. We do our very best, and guess what? You don't need the AAP. You don't need Health and Human Services. You don't need all these three-letter agencies. You don't need billion dollar pharmaceutical companies to turn your kids into rablats. What you need is the word of God and common sense and the food that comes from the ground and wisdom, because what does scripture say? Pursue wisdom above all else. Mercury and aluminum neurotoxicity was also revealed in a lot of these vaccines. Chronic disease correlation, regulatory capture, and informed consent erosion. These are all the concerns that Bobby Kennedy had about the childhood vaccine schedule. And guess what? He's in power because we want him in power. We got to put an end to this medical cartel, Jason.
100%. 100%. Well, let's shift gears for a second because Doctor Phil
Yes, I
Philip
love.
McGraw, he just released a book. Said we have issues.
One of America's greatest doctors.
I think he's going to rename that book after this last couple days, because I think his book's now going to be titled "I've Got Issues."
Do you have the article pulled up?
I don't.
Neither do I. So, if I remember correctly, I believe TBN, the Turner TBN is a Christian broadcaster, and I'm scrolling through trends.dissenter.com right now to find the article. But essentially, my understanding is that Dr. Phil is being accused of being involved in a $500 million scheme somehow with TBN. And TBN is the king of Christian boomer broadcasting. I'm not finding. I think that might have even left the site from this morning till today.
The Independent reporting: Dr. Phil sued by Christian broadcaster for reprehensible conduct and $500 million deal. Years-long fraudulent scheme. TBM now asserts its affirmative claim against Patesky and McGraw related to the years-long fraudulent scheme that they developed and executed to fleece TBN, the lawsuit alleges. The fraught bankruptcy proceedings for Dr. Phil McGraw, anti-woke Merit Street Media, have taken another dramatic turn as his broadcasting partner is suing the company and McGraw for fraud and breach of contract. Lawsuit filed by the Trinity Broadcasting comes just a month after Merit Street filed for bankruptcy and sued the Christian television network, accusing TBN of sabotage because it reneged on its obligation and abused its position as the controlling shareholder of Merit Street. Meanwhile, the countersuit by TBN, which was filed in Texas court Tuesday, comes as Dr. Phil and his production company, Patesky, attempted to halt the Chapter 11 proceedings for the year-old Merit Street, claiming the legal costs of going bankrupt were too expensive. The effort to halt the bankruptcy follows the professional bull riders accusing Dr. Phil of engaging in a bad faith Chapter 11 filing as the bull riding league tries to collect on the $181 million it claims it's owed to them by Merit Street. In response, TBN legitimately and lawfully defending itself from Patesky and McGraw's bad faith attacks is to cry foul because they do not like the true fact that they themselves now regretfully put an issue before this court, revealing McGraw's true illicit intent and wrongful conduct, which he self-described as a gangster move and as a 11th hour poker.
He was a gangster.
TBN and its attorneys state in the complaint. TBN now asserts its affirmative claims against Patesky and McGraw related to the years-long fraudulent scheme that they developed and executed to fleece TBN, a not-for-profit corporation to enrich McGraw and his associates and affiliates, the lawsuit alleges. TBN is confident that the truth will set it free and result in Patesky and McGraw being held accountable for their reprehensible conduct. Merit Street has accused TBN of failing to live up to the terms of their agreement, specifically citing the inability to secure national television distribution for the Dr. Phil-led channel. These failures by TBN were neither unintended nor inadvertent. Merit Street alleges in its complaint they were a conscious, intentional pattern of choices made with full awareness that the consequences of which was to sabotage and seal the fate of a new but already nationally acclaimed network. This just goes on. More and more and more. It seems like it's a tit for tat battle here of who is in the wrong, who is in the right in this story. Aaron, what's your initial thoughts here?
My initial thought is that Christian television is in a lot of trouble. Everett, Ohio for Freedom's been publishing a lot of what's going on at Daystar. A lot of leaked audio, a lot of what looks like shenanigans, some malarkey. It's in tandem with what's happening in the greater church. There's a lot of exposure that's taking place. Julie Royce did not get a vacation this summer, so we should probably do a GoFundMe so she can go somewhere south of the equator, maybe in the wintertime, because these pastors can't keep their pants up, dude. These CCM artists can't keep their pants on. Everybody's losing their mind right now, bro. It's just, I think what we're having is there's like this inflection point in church history where it just feels like everything is kind of happening all at once. There's a move to expose some of the darkness that's happening in these Christian circles because God is not pleased. I mean, we're seeing it at Daystar. We're seeing it here at TBN. We're seeing it, with the New Life scandals. We're seeing it at all of the things that are, the Life Church, Grant Groeschel. Maybe we want to talk about that. They're in the news. One of their interns is under arrest for federal charges for having SA abuse material at the church with church computers. I mean, and now he's facing there's a federal arrest warrant for a Life Church intern. Like these are the conversations we're happening. So yeah, I just think it's indicative of a greater move of what God is doing in His church.
I mean, I think that we don't have the information to claim that whether or not McGraw was in the wrong.
No, nobody's in the wrong here. No, we don't know.
I do think that the question becomes, right, Dr. Phil, who hosted a syndicated television show for roughly 20 years at that point, also told Trinity that he wanted to change networks because of what he perceived to be CBS censorship, explicitly saying, I don't want snot-nosed lawyers telling me what I can and can't say on television. So I think this also brings up this idea of like, what is free media? Because anytime that you're touching the airwaves, it's probably not free media. And even these giant broadcast companies that claim to be Christian still will not stand up on truth and have failed to stand up on truth for years.
For years. I mean, it's a joke. The Christian television world is a joke, in my opinion. It's just hucking potions and lotions, and I'm not a big fan of Pastor Baker. He's constantly selling preparedness items. it just seems like this never-ending infomercial. My parents are boomers. I've been to their house before, and usually there's some guy selling, send me 1999 to my PO box, and I'll send you this holy water that's gonna make hair pop out of your chest, and you're gonna have this like amazing beard like Jason Lupo, and you're gonna have a free ticket to heaven. And none of it is biblical. None of it is reasonable. None of it is giving God any glory. I think that there needs to be a major shift in Christian media. I mean, even the internet stuff that I see, a lot of stuff out there is like pro-Israel. It's very much just seems infiltrated. It seems tempered. It seems kind of Charlie Kirkish. Like there's a rag that I'm thinking of, Relevant. Relevant is arguably one of the larger internet Christian media outlets. Christianity Today, total tool for Israel, total tool for a lot of what the enemy is doing in the church. And forgive me, if I have receipts on Christianity Today. Now, I will go positive. Life News, Life Site News is a great Christian organization online. But yeah, there's definitely room for improvement.
So, if you want that water that will make hair pop out of your chest and grow a beard like I do, I have that water. It's from Kirkland. I'll send it to you. I'll send you a bottle of Kirkland water if you just donate on our site at faithfamilyfit.org.
Well,
so we can continue to pay for these airwaves. Go there. There's nothing special about it. You can literally go down and buy 36 bottles for $3.99 at your local Costco. But I'll send you one bottle for the price of $19.99. It's not special. It won't do anything. But we could use your donation.
Yeah.
We're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to continue going through the news. Hang with us. Israeli government cybersecurity chief arrested in Nevada for luring a child for a sex act. This seems like a common trend across the country right now. Disgusting people doing disgusting things. At least they're being caught on some occasion. But this brings up a whole new level of questions. Because here we have, in the midst of this battle, Israel-Palestine, the Israel conflicts that have taken place, the bombshell interview with Ted Cruz, where Tucker Carlson basically gets Ted Cruz to reveal that Israeli influence in the American government is quite extreme. And now we have an Israeli official that's on the soil of the United States luring children. This just sounds like it's some sort of like movie script.
Sounds like it's wood chipper time.
I mean, I agree with you, Jim. But Aaron, you got the full story. Give it to us.
The Post Millennials reporting that that Tom Alexandrovich, he's a senior Israeli cybersecurity official, has been arrested by the Las Vegas Metro Police Department in an August 15th sting that had 8 men arrested during a 2-week multi-agency sting that included agents with the FBI and the Homeland Security. Police confirmed that Alexandrovich, who's 38, was among those taken into custody and booked into the Henderson Detention Center. He was charged with luring a child with a computer for a sex act, which is a felony under Nevada law. According to The Guardian, court records show Alexandrovich was released on $10,000 bail, which is probably like $5 to us, after an initial appearance and then returned to Israel. The sting targeted suspects who allegedly believed they were meeting children for sexual encounters. Among those arrested was a 46-year-old pastor from a Las Vegas church doing God's work, and also a former Las Vegas police officer. So the men, and I use men loosely, that are tasked to protect the innocent, police officers and pastors and government officials, are the ones getting arrested for trying to abuse children. I know Jimmy Crackhorn has something to say over here.
I'll just throw them all in the wood chipper. So this is a whole group of them. They were all together at the same time.
And an Indian engineering student as well. They were all arrested.
And of course they're all beep bop boopy computer types that are familiar with all this stuff. So these are sick freaks. Throw them in the wood chipper. Let's be done with this crap. We need to get the death penalty back just as the default for any of this crap. That's what I think. This has got to start. It's got to be stopped. It's disgusting.
This guy is really high up in the government, dude. I mean,
He's gonna walk. He's gonna.
Benjamin Netanyahu was dealing with this personally. He is the executive director of the Israel National Directorate. I mean, cybersecurity is, top of the list when it comes to national defense in 2025. This guy is incredibly powerful. He's very high up. And my biggest question, the question that everyone should be asking and reading this article, is why was he allowed to leave?
That's the question that came to my mind. It was, and I understand that there's diplomatic privilege, but diplomatic privilege should not like extend to this level of crime. I mean, at the end of the day, diplomatic privilege in any facet, I think, should be limited.
Well, if you're caught in a federal felony sting, your whatever privileges you get go right out the window. I mean, I lose my driving privileges the minute I get pulled over by the sheriff and they smell alcohol in my breath. Like, you lose privileges when you break the law. So I'm not understanding why Alexandrovich is allowed to leave the United States, bail out of jail when he's been arrested for trying to harm children. There's obviously diplomatic privilege. We talk about white privilege. Maybe this is diplomatic privilege. Maybe this is tiny hat privilege. I don't know.
Well, diplomatic privilege is actually a legitimate
diplomatic
term.
immunity, all that.
Diplomatic.
Well, diplomatic immunity is a term, but that is irrelevant to the context of this conversation.
No, but they're overstretching it and exercising it to have some dirtbag that should have just been shoved in a wood chipper to just be like, oh, well, no problem. You get out for a 10 grand bail. So what is that? What's 10% of that? $100 or whatever? $1,000.
You pay 10 grand a bailout.
Yeah, he paid nothing to go back. Then what? He went back to Israel, right?
Yeah, he went back to Israel.
So he just goes back to his country. No harm, no foul, no nothing. He just gets to walk. He's just walking.
Yeah. What's also really interesting about this is that the Israeli government denied that he was arrested initially. So when this came out, they actually lied and they offered a different version of events. Ynet, which is an Israeli media outlet, reported on August 14th that an employee of the National Cyber Directorate had only been, quote, briefly detained for questioning. Not arrested, briefly detained for questioning before returning to his hotel and later flying home. Netanyahu's office backed that version of events in a statement denying. This is directly from Bibi, Trump's boss, that denied any requests had taken place. Quote, the employee who does not hold a diplomatic visa was not arrested and returned to Israel as scheduled.
No.
What? Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies.
So that's it. You just got to be from a favorable country.
You got to be
stuff, and then you're fine. You can just go back without any recourse.
Well, I want somebody to fact
in your system. Their establishment and government's going to lie for them too.
And your establishment government's going to lie for you, and they're also going to give you safe harbor because, if I'm not mistaken, Israel will not and does not extradite pedophiles to their host country. They are given safe refuge in Israel.
Really? What?
Yes, look that up. I'm about 90%
Is that
sure.
true?
I'm about 90.
On the old interwebs. Let's check the interwebs.
If I was at a table in Vegas, I would put it all on black right now. That's the case.
I'll put it all on Tiny Hat.
Put it on Tiny Hat. The whole bag.
What's the way you always say it? You're like, if I was in Vegas, I'd just bet it all on Tiny Hat right now. I'm telling you what,
Well, while Lupo's looking that up, the U.S. State Department Twitter account tweeted that the Department of State is aware that Tom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending something.
There's several articles. Israel will not extradite alleged sex offender to U.S. An article from Humanium exposing pedophilia and legal failures in Israel. Israel's law of return lets criminals abroad run. How Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel.
Gross. That's disgusting. That's making me not like that place now.
No, what I want to have happen is I want the United States Attorney General of Nevada to demand that
The return and prosecution.
extradition and trial and prosecution of this clown. 100%. I mean, that's, I would imagine that the Clark County District Attorney's Office has all the authority to make this request from a legal standpoint. You're the resident legal expert, Jason. Do you think that could be true?
That's dangerous that I'm the resident legal expert.
Shade tree lawyer at your service.
If once it goes back to Israel, I mean, the U.S. has very little power to demand anything of anybody, especially when it comes back to the fact that at the present moment, it does not look like the U.S. is involved in this case, that this case is contained to Nevada.
So you're telling me, Jason, that I go commit a felony right now and then book on over to my mother-in-law's house in Mexico. I can't be extradited back to the U.S. to face my crimes?
No, you can be extradited, but the United States cannot force Mexico to extradite
But
you.
wouldn't it be the responsible and legal obligation of Mexico to send me back to the United States?
If they want to keep their relationship strong with the United States, then yes.
Bingo. So this is
But
where I'm going.
I mean,
Does
whether or not we're going to see that take place in Israel is a whole nother question. The same comes with Snowden, right?
But that's the litmus test, Jason. That is going to show whether Israel is a good faith actor or they're not.
I don't disagree with you, but Israel has declined to do this on numerous occasions.
So Israel's on notice, and I want people to pay attention to this story. Will Israel extradite a pedophile back to the United States to face their crimes, or will the United States make excuses, and will the genocidal ethno-state of Israel give safe harbor to this monster? I have a feeling that these guys are going to give safe harbor. You know, maybe I'm a little snippy because they're starving precious children and bombing Catholic and Christian churches in Gaza right now. So, you know, it's a little hashtag too soon. I don't like hearing this crap, dude. This is an evil country. I'm sorry.
No, the diaper sniffer stuff, yeah. Just put them all in the wood chippers. Get rid of them. I don't care. And if you're a country that harbors them, you're trash too. I don't care what country it is.
100%.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I don't care your policies. If you're harboring a bunch of diaper sniffers and traffickers and rapists and you're not going to let them be punished, you're trash. You're nothing. You have no morals, values, or ethics. You have no stance to tell anybody in any other country what to do, period, if your country harbors that kind of trash.
And who paid the bail? That's a good question.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he didn't have that cash in his pocket, did he?
His girl, Lakeisha. He's like, Lakeisha, bail me out, girl.
Freaking disgusting.
I got caught up by the LVPD, man.
Why is there so many human rights given to these diaper sniffers too? They're doing inhumane things, but they get treated like the absolute best. I mean, it's insane. Like when you look at like crimes and stuff, you know what I mean? Whoa, give them the absolute stretch of human rights and this and that, and they're a protected class. They're this. I'm sick of it. I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah. I think that there's going to come a point where the American people are going to have to wake up and keep our government accountable to treating Israel like they treat every other country, because it's becoming very, very obvious. You know, Joe Carroll, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Fresh and Fit podcast. I mean, I go on all day. All of the alternative alt-right media is talking about this. This is the elephant in the room. This is the open secret that Israel is not our ally. Israel is not our friend. Israel has been getting special treatment for decades. I mean, we just had the Kennedy files, JFK files released. It was admitted that Israel was involved in the assassination of a sitting U.S. president. At what point are we going to have an adult conversation about the nation state of Israel?
I don't know. I do think, though, with these other countries and stuff, we need to stop doing favorable stuff and start favoring ourselves, to be very honest with you. 100%. Regardless of all these countries and, death penalty for all the diaper sniffers, obviously, and all that stuff. But we need to start favoring our own country and doing stuff and taking care of our own things instead of favoring just other nations and getting involved with all this extra stuff anymore, because we don't even take care of our own stuff anymore.
No, we have veterans living under bridges. These are brave men who fought and served their country, and it's just a shame how we treat our veterans in this country.
Well, it's not only that, but you just go on like the basic like infrastructure. We got bridges falling down, roads falling apart. You don't have speed bumps or potholes. You got like speed holes everywhere.
Speed holes. I like
everywhere. You're like, oh, look, there's another speed hole.
And it was free.
Yeah, you're like free speed holes. America, honestly, if we don't stop doing this stuff, we're becoming like the first second world country. We have like first world technology and a bunch of third world nonsensical problems that shouldn't be existing here.
So-
that sound insane or
No, it's 100% on point, on the money. I mean, we're deteriorating as an empire.
So this is kind of breaking. Texas Democrats return to the state,
They're back, huh?
allowing redrawn maps to pass.
how
Now,
do they travel? By bus, plane,
I
car?
don't think it matters anymore at this
They
point.
hitchhike.
They stayed away long enough to allow Newsom to create his plan to steal and basically make California entirely blue, even though the state is 40-something% red. But the way that he's going to gerrymander these maps, there will be no red congressional seats left in the state of California.
Well, that's fair.
Oh boy.
Not at all.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Gavin.
I can't wait. I think that we're barreling down the pipe here on a new census. I cannot wait for the new census. I think it's going to spell
Really?
absolute disaster for the Democrat Party in this country and for wokeism.
You're from Cali.
Yes, sir.
I was born in California. I'm from there. I'm disappointed with California. California's beautiful.
Yeah.
From north to south, east to west, mountains. I mean, it's like the one place where you can drive an hour and be like, where you at? Ocean. Where you at after driving out? I'm in the mountains and snowboarding. Where you at now? An hour. I'm in the desert. I'm in here. I'm in a freaking lush green forest. Like,
California's badass.
you can go everywhere and it's beautiful and gorgeous. It's just like politically and price wise, it's just ruined and destroyed it and turned it into what? It's like an urban camper haven. If you don't know what an urban camper is, that's just a bunch of homeless meth heads and thieves and problems.
I thought that was hilarious. You called the homeless guys urban campers.
Urban campers as they truck through the speed hole filled parking lots of Applebee's to get to the next Circle K for a free cup of water. While you're just trying to pump your fuel and ask you for cigarettes and money, and you're like, no.
I've never encountered anybody who's like anti-homeless. This is interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm tired of them, dude. I'm tired of them, and I've been homeless. I've eaten out of trash cans and stuff. I've had nothing, and I didn't like it. I've been hungry and cold. I will never be hungry and cold again ever in my life. But I don't like it. It's because if I was gonna be homeless in the modern era, wouldn't you go to the mountains where you can like fish and hunt and
Heck yeah, dude.
and live and be like, what are you doing? I've just made the Shire my home. And I'd be like, what is this? This is a dwelling within a stump and part of a cave I made. I fish every day and brush my teeth with pine cones. I would not be in town and be homeless. I'd be in the mountains fishing and hunting and like living it up.
Oh yeah.
But it's just gross. You go everywhere. Oh, you need to. And I was like, you need to make better choices. You need to go kick rocks. You need to go. I'm saying it very politely because I usually don't say it very nice, honestly. And then what is it? It's a politically profitable problem. So it'll never be solved. It'll never be corrected. It'll never be changed. It doesn't matter what state, what county, what city it's in. They just never fix it. It's just some kind of weird endless funding loop of tugging at your heartstrings.
I agree with you, man. Jason, help me understand. So what happened? So the Texas Democrats came back. They weren't arrested. They were given like lunch. Like what ended up happening?
So
Making a sandwich.
they could not get a rush decision by the court
Okay.
to force the vacancies to be filled.
Okay.
So they kind of had their hands tied there. Now, what's interesting is the Democrats showed back up, even though the special session was ticking. Like the end of the session was ticking. So they could have stayed away. And I don't fully know the story, nor do I fully know Texas law and their statutes. But it seemed like from a lot of the articles that we read that had the Democrats have stayed away another week or so, that this special session would have ended. It would have required, I think, the governor to call another special session to get this done. But I think that they were at the time still, they've got their hands tied waiting on the courts to make a decision.
Every time you say special session, I'm sorry, I'm kind of giggling, but I just keep
Well,
like little
let's-
doses roll up.
Colorado's special session starts tomorrow. We're recording ahead of time. Started Thursday.
Oh,
Which I'd give you an update, but it hasn't started at the time that we were recording this episode. It's not breaking news,
You can't
but it's
predict the
happening.
future. It's in the future, ladies. And
Now, crime drops sharply in D.C. following Trump's intervention, really following Piro's intervention, following law and order being instilled in the city.
Well, sure, you introduce a military force into a city, yeah, you're not gonna steal in front of the military guy. It's gonna drop. It's just not a sustainable model to have military in the streets. I don't want to live in a city. I don't want to live in a prison planet. So, but hey, I guess what I'm trying to say is, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, crime.
Would you rather have South Korea's new hologram police officers? Did you see this?
Oh, it sounds cool though.
I saw it briefly. I didn't go in and look too
What?
closely. They're introducing hologram police officers in South Korea.
Hologram police officers. So, like, can they arrest you? Can the hologram arrest you? Like, does the hologram have?
It's not solid light.
Like, can I get arrested?
It's like the most Green Lantern sounding thing ever.
A hologram arrested me
Yeah.
today. And
I-
it smelled like garlic.
So DC's safer now, and so are they kind of backing everybody out then now that it's safer, or since DC's all safer after all the
I mean-
interventions, or is it just everybody's just still present and standing there at guard and watching?
It always boggles my mind that you have cities like Chicago where there's murders every single weekend, every single day, of
Every
the week.
day.
Multiple murders every
Isn't it
single
like
day.
every 2 hours or every hour there's just somebody snuffed out there or some craziness? or
And you
something?
go, why has nobody done anything about it, right? And DC was getting the same point. And so there comes a time where it's like, okay, what do you do, right? You almost need a mayor like a Giuliani-style mayor to crack down on the crime, but you need some sort of gigantic intervention. But if the people that are elected to do the job fail to do the job, where do the people of those cities look? And I think that's the problem is that we have a place like DC who falls under the jurisdiction of Congress,
Yeah.
failing to do their job for so long. But yeah, South Korea has figured out how to post up a cop without actually sending one. Every night between 7 and 10 p.m. in Seoul's Judong No. 3 Park, a full-size holographic police officer flickers to life, repeating warnings about CCTV and promising that real officers will respond in real time. The guy looks white.
What?
But Asians always do that though. Like, all their models are like Anglo people. Like, if you go to like South Korea, like all the billboards are like blonde dudes. It's like the way the United States used to be.
It's a dude that looks like me. Hey, I'm speaking Korean.
Yeah.
Don't do this in Korean. Real me's will be here soon in Korean.
안녕하세요. 감사합니다.
I don't know. I think it'd be something that I'd probably turn out breaking or kicking or something or messing with the light.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing?
RoboCop, man.
I mean, I could see people just like somehow destroying the hologram in the United States. Like that would last maybe a second in some America's streets.
It would be a viral video by some YouTube prank video guy. 100%. He would prank it. It'd be like a Mr. Beast thing.
Oh, don't
hate
don't
Mr.
talk out,
Beast.
Mr. Beast.
It's a piece of trash.
We're gonna have to
We don't
spend the
mention
next
it.
7
Oh, sorry,
minutes on
sorry.
that.
Shouldn't have brought up
Yeah,
the word.
no, stop mentioning him. I don't know why you like him so much. I hate that guy.
All right, Aaron, we got like 6 minutes left. What do you got for us?
I have to go to the chiropractor.
You have to go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
I know. We're
I will leave you with this though, just to kind of light a fire on my way out. There's a report that Elon Musk is weighing Vance's 2028 endorsement, ending the America Party. Did you hear about that? Musk is quietly slowing down his effort to create a third party and considering backing Vance in 2028. Sources familiar with the plans told the Wall Street Journal.
it doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me at all.
No.
Elon Musk, I think this feud that existed between Elon Musk and Trump was somehow some fake
You think it
fake
was staged?
controversy. I think it was staged in a lot of respects.
they
I
were-
actually do.
Think they were just doing it for entertainment purposes only?
I think that they were trying to control the news cycle, which is what I think that what
Well,
all
Oh, yeah.
parties and presidents have tried to do for a long time.
See
which
what was
is-
going on at the same time just to check.
Well, it's
check it.
it's the what do they call it? Sleight of hand,
Yeah.
right? Look over here while I do this.
Sleight of hand or the old rope-a-dope.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, look over here. Here's my feud with Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk is not hurt at all under this Trump administration. I don't think that anybody can claim that Elon Musk was hurt by the Trump administration.
No.
I mean, here he is. He's got his own city at this point. So super intriguing.
Own city. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
He basically Tesla got control of a city
Oh, I didn't know that. I must have missed that.
in Texas.
Oh, okay. I know they moved to Texas. I didn't know they got control of a whole city in Texas.
Yeah, so they voted to essentially
Is it called Tesla Town or something?
no, it's
The boring city instead of the boring company.
Starbase.
Oh, okay.
Starbase, Texas.
So instead of Starlink, the Starbase Texas.
Starbase, Texas, and he got basically the unofficial results of the creation of his new city. At that point, this was in May of this year.
Huh.
97.7% support of
Damn.
the new city. So yes, Elon Musk is not hurting in any way, shape, or form. But who is hurting, or according to Outkick, NASCAR should be embarrassed by how many people watched the latest race. Probably time to end Saturday night NASCAR races. That's what they say.
Oh.
I mean, at the end of the day, I could tell you that nobody actually knew that they had changed from Sunday to Saturday, and that's probably why they hurt so much on
I
Saturday.
didn't even know it was still on Sundays, and I didn't know they switched. So,
But
watch it.
I mean, if your choice was watching the Dreykus Duplessis fight and the Shemaev fight, or watching NASCAR, I think that most sports fans were probably tuning into the UFC.
Oh yeah, because that was last Saturday, huh?
It was epic fights.
Right. I didn't
Epic
see it,
fights.
but yeah, I heard about it.
So, anyways, that's what I got for you for this weekend. You got anything on your mind? We got a couple minutes to close this out here.
No, not much of anything. Just, keep things going good. Everybody out there, do your stuff. Be a good person. Try to do right. And even if you do right and everything keeps going wrong, don't fret on it. It's fine. You're still on point, because some of the strongest people and the people doing the best out in the world are what? They're standing by themselves, doing the right thing, while everybody else is doing messed up stuff. So kind of hinders in with the thing when I always say when we close everything out, right? The old, if you want it better, be better. It's just is what it is. Do your thing. Take care of your family. Be a good person. Do your stuff. If you got faith, keep it proper and do your stuff. Be faithful to your family, your wife, your kids, your aunts, uncles, everybody. Do it good. Keep earning. Keep doing your stuff. Be present when it's time for family events. Do good, guys. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you can only control what you do, and you can only control how you act.
That's the number one thing.
And I think one of the largest issues that we have in modern day society is we've been ingrained with this idea that people can't change, and I think that's a really fraudulent idea.
Yeah.
And you look at the whole story of the New Testament of the Bible shows us the change of people and the change of hearts and the allowance for the change of hearts and God's grace, and yet God's grace is spelled out in the entire book of the Bible, but those that follow God obviously don't take that message to heart and provide grace to others.
True.
And that's the challenge. And so my challenge for you this week is provide the grace that God has given you to others and allow people to change. That's what I would tell you. This has been Spiritual Insurgency. Join us every day. Donate online at faithfamilyfit.org. God bless.
Want it better, be better.